Because when someone says you don't have to say whatever that you think, then that means you are keeping it in. Women always say whatever they think. So why can't we? A lot of deaths. One death due to depression or anxiety, whatever, that's not enough. That's way too much. So let's do everything in our power to make sure that this mental health year or month, it's going to turn into a deficit or a decrease in the amount of suicide and what guys are doing. Hey man, how you doing? Trust I find you in good spirits. I'm back with another one, and if you're new to the channel, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. We are all about men's mental health. And what I love the most about the channel is over the past couple of weeks, I've had messages from one special lady, especially from a lady. I don't know what I said there. But yeah, and she said, I wish more men could listen to the podcast. And it just shows you that women are always consuming this content. So if the ladies are consuming content and they're finding relevance in it, do you understand that women don't just listen to nonsense? We can sit down and talk nonsense and listen, watch nonsense and do nonsense. Women always put their minds into what they're doing. So the fact that a lady was watching this and they found like, wow, it's amazing. That means it is amazing. And I'm so grateful and I'm so humbled at the fact that I am still able to bring such content to you and to your friends and everything. Anyway, men's mental health, and we are in June, and it's men's mental health. And the one thing that sort of made me sad with that is, do you understand that it's men's mental health, but not so much emphasis is being put on it? And you know why? There is the Cricket World Cup that's happening, and we're talking about it. There is the tennis and Rafael Nadal and them. They are on the verge of something amazing. There's the F1. So there's so much sport that is happening. But because of that, we tend to put a blind eye to men's mental health. I think I've seen one post online that speaks about Men's Mental Health Month. And if that's the case, why are we falling for the same trap over and over again? Because if this is there for us, we know with Women's Month or Gender-Based Violence Month, or what do you call this in August, where Unite Against Women and Children and being victimized and all that. And what do you call it? 16 days of activism, yes. There is so much emphasis on that. And every post, there is always that ribbon that is on the corner, 16 days of activism, 60 days of activism. I haven't seen that with men's mental health. We are so busy, like some of us are cricket people, and we always been, we were scrutinizing the pitches in the New York and how the low scoring game is coming from the IPL where teams were scoring 200 like that. In the power play, they'll be going at 14, 15, 16 or 17 runs and over. Right now, teams are going at 70 runs for the whole entire 20 overs. And my wife isn't said, nah, man, that is nonsense. How can an international team get bowled out for 77? Yeah, well, but that's not the point. We are not focused on the cricket. Why is it that when it comes to men's mental health, we're always going to be distracted by something else, distracted by stuff that is happening in the world? We're coming from elections in South Africa. That is, again, there's a lot of speculation, what's happening, who's who in the zoo and all that. Again, before we know it, it's going to be the end of June and we've done nothing. And men's mental health is real, guys. We say the men podcast does not necessarily mean men as in the gender, but it's matured, available nature. And I don't think as society we are putting enough emphasis on men's mental health. And I pulled out an article from South Africa Society of Psychiatrists, and it says the suicide amongst men, stigma prevents seeking help. And suicide is one of the leading causes of death globally, and the prevalence among men is considerably higher than women. South Africa is ranked number 10 on the list of countries with the most suicides, with 23.5 per 100,000 population of the 13,774 suicides reported in South Africa. 10,861 were men, whilst 2,913 were women, translating to a rate of 37.6 per 100,000 for men and 9.8 per 100,000 for women. South Africa is not unique in this statistic. Worldwide, men's suicide is ranked higher. Among the 703,000 people dying every year, the suicide rate for men, 12.6 per 100,000, is considerably higher than that of women, 5.4 per 100,000. During Men's Mental Health Month, noted in June, the South African Society of Psychiatrists, SASOP, urges men to speak up before it's too late and break the stigma, and it's unmanly and a sign of weakness should men reach out for help. Men are 5 times more likely to die by suicide than women and often use more aggressive methods. Although surveys reveal that women are diagnosed more than men with mental health conditions such as depression and anxiety, men don't speak about their feelings until it's too late. Instead, they underplay the distress caused by these symptoms, drowning their depression and anxiety with poor coping behaviors, increasing their risk of the anxiety or depression to go unrecognized and untreated. Dr. Talatala says the risk factors for suicide includes unemployment and occupational issues, divorce, and adverse childhood experiences, and that the symptoms of depression and anxiety are not in keeping with the perception men have of masculinity. The tools used for surveys for depression and for diagnosis and depression are not designed to pick up male depression, as men are likely to present with substance abuse, risk-taking behavior, poor impulse control, anger, and irritability. Yet, even though not reported in surveys, many of these men die by suicide are due to depression. Men don't seek help due to the macho male stereotype in society, expecting men to man up and adopt the boys don't cry mentality. It's this attitude of men portrayed as being brave and fearless that leads to men considering themselves in a negative light if they suffer from mental health conditions. And for this very reason, they see it as putting themselves in a vulnerable position when seeking help. Dr. Talatala says society expects a lot of men, expecting them to be seen as confident in control, the decision makers, and the decisive voices of reason and rationale. They are many times portrayed as the rock with a steady hand and a mind in times of trouble and uncertainty. They are stereotyped as provider, protector, dependable, confident, and fearless. However, these very traits that society has labeled men with lead men to feel inadequate and emasculated. It's not realistic to expect men to be stronger to be the stronger sex that always lives by society's motto of what makes a man and simply find a way to pull yourself together. The consequences of not speaking out, Dr. Talatala, can aggravate the mental health condition as men find inappropriate coping strategies that might very well dull the symptoms temporarily, but could develop into a dependency that eventually spins out of control. Abuse, gambling, drugs, alcohol, and reckless behavior are some of the coping mechanisms embraced by men. So you can see that, gents, the statistics are showing on their own that we are dying. Yet there is nothing whatsoever that is on social media that is giving awareness. And that's exactly why we're trying to make this. And in a short space of time, I'm going to speak to a few gents to just have a feel of, one, I'm checking up on them, and two, to hear what advice they would be giving to someone that may be going through stuff. Because one thing for sure, we're all going through something. We're all going through something. And because of that, what can we do as gents to ease up the burden? And I'm appealing to you right now, if you can, you don't have to speak to me, but then rather speak to a stranger. Or again, my door is always open. I'm going through something as well. I want to be in a position where I know that I can open the door and I can knock on you and say, mate, this is what I'm going through. Let's just hear a few gents that I just decided, let me just call these guys and just have a feel of what's happening. We're going to start off with Mr. James Petam Settler. Let's see if he's going to pick up. Anyway, let's jump in and just hear what this guy is going to say to us and how things are going to go. So this phone is ringing and he is coming on. So as I was saying, let's just be a generation of gents that are going to, let's be there for one another. Sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? You're live on the podcast, man.
Oh, that's great.
This is the only time, Pella, we've tried to bring you on board and it's not happening. So like, now we're going to bombard you.
Every time, eh?
Yeah.
It's like I'm a rare gem.
You are. That you are. We cannot run away or shy away from that. So
but
yeah.
It's a privilege that I'm on the show.
Man. Thank you so much for taking your time. I know you're a busy man.
Are you able to hear me? There's a lot of wind.
No, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm great. And
Yeah.
how are you?
Still alive. The flu was, it hit me. The whole family was down.
Yeah, I also suffered that in the last 8 days.
Yeah.
So I just came out of it actually.
Hectic. Anyway, sir, it's men's mental health, and I was saying when we started the shoot as well that it is amazing that we say it's men's mental health, yet there hasn't been so much emphasis. And I read down the stats, and they said we are probably 5% more likely to commit suicide than our female counterparts. So that means there's something that these women are doing that we are shying away from doing if the male species is committing suicide. So I just wanted to pick your brains in that regard, that it's men's mental health, and what advice would you be giving to a brother that may be going through something? Because one thing for sure is we are all going through something. So what advice would you be giving to a brother?
Well, the fact of the matter, my brother, is that a lot of times we rather talk about things than talk about ourselves. And the women usually talk about themselves, hence they are able to find solutions. And I say it's not even about how much money you have, but it's about the quality of life. You know, it's about the quality of life.
Yeah.
In actual fact, I want to speak a thing or two quickly with you. That your health is your net worth.
Yeah.
Your health is your net worth. And you know you are speaking to a preacher.
Yes.
And let's look into the book of 3 John chapter 1. 3 John chapter 1. We look at verse 2 there.
Yeah.
And it says, Beloved, I wish above all things that thou may prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers. So that word that says that you must prosper, it doesn't only speak about financial gain, but it talks about the holistic life. You know, when you are in good health, then you are prospering. And so, as we speak about mental health in this particular month, we talk about the quality or the ability of your mind being free, that you are not stressed, that you are not living in depression. And the only way for that to happen is when you have open conversations with your mate, you know, open conversations even with yourself.
Yeah.
But if I'm always sitting alone and winding up, then there's nothing happening in my life.
Sure.
You know, and I think that's very important to have a platform where you can talk and be open.
Yeah. Those are some massive words from a rare gem, like you said. Thank you so much, man. It's amazing that a lot of times we think that when we sit down, you have to bring the solution. So if I come to you and say, my brother, this is what I'm going through, I'm not meaning it in the sense that you're going to give me a solution. Or I'm also not meaning that you're not going to give me a solution. But the fact that I have taken out what I am feeling to a brother, and I'm trusting that my brother has got my best interest. Yeah.
To speak, it's very therapeutic.
Yeah.
The fact that you didn't just sit alone and think about it, but you found somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
It helps you really to get rid of whatever toxicity that was in your mind.
Sure. Yeah. Powerful. Say, thank you so much for taking your time, man. It's been amazing, and it's good to.
It's my pleasure.
It's really to catch up with you.
That we got a minute to talk. Yeah.
Yes. I think there's so much importance in this, because you look at life and you're thinking, no, I'm gonna find time to speak to someone, but then look, it's a 5-minute call, and I already know how my brother is doing and how we're doing. And instead of spending weeks on end because we don't find time, we are busy, yes, but just that 5-minute call to just say, my brother, how are you doing? That's important as well.
And even if we didn't say much, just the question, how are you?
Yeah.
That already allows me to even open up to you.
Sure. That's powerful. That is powerful. And we want more gents to come together as well and just say, my brother, how are you? Like literally, how are you? Not I'm good, thanks, and you, because we love to just jump and speak about I'm good, thanks, and how are you? I'm highly flavored and blessed. But then in all honesty, how are you doing? It's really important.
It's more in depth.
Yeah.
I think it's better than just an answering in a generic way, because to say I'm fine and you, it's a generic way.
True.
But if everything is well, you will even hear from my conversation.
Yeah.
But we need more time and platforms that will allow men to open up.
Exactly.
And I think the only time a man opens up is when he feels safe.
Sure.
When a man doesn't open up, it means he's unsafe.
Sure. Mfundisi, when are you coming to the podcast? Now I'm going to do it online so that you don't give me excuses.
Let's make time for this. Let's make time. We can always create time for it.
Definitely.
Let's see how your Saturday is, and we can plan.
Awesome. Thank you, sir, and have a good day, and regards to the family.
Okay.
Awesome.
I will do so. You do the same.
Thank you, sir. Cheers.
Amen. Bye-bye.
Man, this is powerful. We're going to move on again and just chat to Tyrone, and let's see if he's going to pick up his call, because the brothers and they tend not to pick up these calls because they're thinking, are they going to ask me for money or what? Tyrone is a very good friend of mine, and even my wife says, oh, you've got a new boyfriend now. So let's check with Ty. Okay, Ty is not picking up, and we're going to come back to him. Let's jump on to another one. We're going to speak to these gents, and these gents are going to come through and give us their thinking processes. Let's check another brother and see if this brother is going to pick up this time, because brothers have got a way of not responding to our calls. The brother has picked up. Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
How are you? You're live on the podcast, man.
Wow, okay. How are you doing?
That's the only way we can get you, because you don't want to come through.
All right, talk to me, my brother.
How are you, my man?
I'm well, how are you?
Oh, good. Thank you for picking up my call. And the reason why I called is it's Men's Mental Health Month in June. First question would be, do you know that it's Men's Mental Health Month?
Yes, I am aware of that, though I haven't had much time to think about it.
Yeah. Why is it so difficult for us gents to open up about our mental health?
I think it's instilled in us, man. Most of us, we are all like that. But it depends on how you approach it, or how you overcome the situation of mental health itself.
Yeah. So in as much as I think as gents, if we sit down and we speak about sport, and I was saying on the shoot earlier that it's so funny that there is so much happening in the sporting scene that it's easy for us to dwell on that. We dwell on the cricket, we dwell on the tennis, we dwell on the F1. Yes, the soccer is done now, but there is always something in and around men's mental health, so much so that we end up putting our focus on the things that are happening. We just come back from elections right now, and there's still a lot of certainty who's who and whatnot. And as gents, we then deviate from men's mental health, because according to stats, I was reading stats earlier, and it says we are 5% more men than women basically are committing suicide. So that means there's something that these women are doing that we are not coping. And if we are not coping that and we are going down, what exactly are we doing to ourselves? And I know that everyone is going through something, and I would like for you to just give advice to a gent that's going through something, because I know for sure that everyone is going through something. What advice would you be giving to a gent to say, in as much as, yes, we are muscular, we are the heads and whatnot, but we're still human at the end of the day, eh?
Correct, yeah. Look, man, what I can say is that, as you mentioned, the muscular part, we think we are strong. We think we are strong, and that also affects us. Let's talk about maybe someone that is married. You'd find that there's a lot of things that are affecting you, and you can't even talk about to your friends. Friends are laughing at you, or friends are giving you wrong advices, or whatever group of friends that you associate yourself with. They will give you different advices on to what you are expecting.
And
in most cases, I would say, giving myself as an example, I have 3 kids and a wife. If I happen to have some things that are affecting me, at least when I get home, I get to this lovely, bubbly family. They talk a lot, and it just releases whatever that is affecting me at that present time. But having to deal with it, there's no straight approach. There's no straight approach unless maybe there's a group of guys that you talk to. Hey, man, guys, how do you cope with a situation like this? How do you deal with a situation like this? The only thing that we do is that we wrap everything off.
Sure.
We don't have a straight solution towards it.
Sure. But when it comes to sport, we can speak about sport, about women, about cars, easily. In the same room, gents can meet. They say, us gents, we can talk to each other for a week or an hour on end without even knowing our names. Yet we are failing to come up and say, "No, bro, I'm not okay." Does it mean we don't trust one another, or we don't love one another enough?
We just shy to talk about our inner feelings. We're very, very shy into opening up. We talk about a whole lot of things. We drink together, talk about sports, talk about... in fact, that also makes us happy. Talking about sports and all the other things, it makes us happy, but it just removes the feeling for now.
Sure.
Once you're alone, the effect comes through again. Man, I still have this problem.
Sure.
You see, you tend to have to spend a lot of time talking about all different things, spending money. Money also plays a role into you rubbing off whatever that is affecting you.
Sure.
You get what I mean?
But
you can't really get straight to the point.
Because also, I think because as men, we are made to be providers, we're made to be protectors. So you kind of feel like that's exactly how I was feeling, whereby I can't come to Untlantla and say, "My bro, I'm going through this," because I know Untlantla is also going through something. So I'm not going to burden Untlantla, but then that's not right. Just because he's going through something, I can still come to you as a brother because I know it's a safe space. And you don't have to give me solutions sometimes, but just to let go. Let me just give you, this is what I'm going through, my bro. And you may be telling me, let's go have a beer, or let's relax, bruh. It's not gonna the end of the world. Or maybe I've been through that. This is what I did, and it becomes it makes the load a lot lighter. You get it?
Yeah, that's true. You know, there once was a guy who came to us. We were talking as gents. He said, in fact, he told us his problems. And then one of the friends here said, "You know this one." thinks his problems are better than ours. That was it. He thinks his problems are better than ours. And then we just laughed at it, but not realizing the effect. You see? So, to tell you, my brother, there's right now, it's something that we need to go deep about it, think of what is it that can be done, because we really can't share such with emergencies.
Yeah. So that means
because
that means we need to have more platforms where gents can come together and actually talk about real feelings. You know, a few years ago, I was added to a men's group, and my sister was like, there's a men's group where men share everything, right? So I get onto that group, and I'm thinking, we are going to share stuff, you understand? So as I get in, I introduce myself, and I'm like, no, my sister, because there was people from all over the world, different numbers from country codes. So I'm like, I got this number from my sister, and I'm hoping to learn from the gents. And immediately they were like, is there a woman in this group? Because there's not supposed to be a woman. So there's so much defensiveness, you understand? Then afterwards, I'm like, no, that's besides the point. I'm saying this group was suggested by my sister. Fine. A day or two goes by, and nothing is being spoken about until someone posts a photo of a half-naked woman. And then they go, yeah, this is what we want. Yeah, the titties are out and the bone and whatnot. So I'm like, this is exactly what we've always been running away from. Yet we say we're coming together as gents, but it never happens. We speak about women, we speak about cars. That means things really need to change.
Yeah, so that's how you twist a man's mind. That's how you twist a man's mind. You can start a serious topic and discuss about it, and then you won't find much of engagement from other parties, from other guys. But should you post such, there will be a lot of comments, and you'd realize that, there's people most in this group. So it's just there. It's just there.
Yeah, my brother, thank you so much for picking the call, man. It's been amazing that picking your brains as well, and what you think about men's mental health. I think the more people that are listening, the more they understand that, you know what, this thing is real, and we need to start making plans and amends to make sure that the generation of men is safer. Because we've got children, and these kids are growing up. They can't grow up into the same cricket system.
Yeah. In fact, it also needs to create a warm environment for our kids.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
I mean, Moyo, you can have a group of friends. Hey guys, let's go bowling. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. But having to engage in such topics.
Yeah.
Now they will just feel, you see now, I know, if Moyo says we must go where there will be such topics, and then it will just, we ignore things.
Yeah. We can't even have a men's conference. We do a men's conference when it's Valentine's and we don't want to buy our women gifts. And they say, there's a men's conference, man. My brother, thank you so much, man.
Brother. All right, thank you, Mama.
Awesome, man. Cheers.
Well, bye.
Bye. This is going in a way that I'm loving. And we're just going to chat to one more person. If Tyrone doesn't come through, let's hope this one picks up. And I know this man speaks. This man speaks volumes, and he's about to pick up now. Say, how are you?
Hey, my brother, I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm good. You're live on the podcast, man. Thank you so much for picking the call.
Sure, bro. What's happening?
Yeah, same crap, different day, bro. How's the family doing?
Good, man. All good, my brother.
That's good.
You know, we push it.
Yeah, we're trying. Bro, it's Men's Mental Health Month, and first question would be, do you know? Are you aware of it?
No, I didn't know, bro. I didn't know at all.
Jeez. That's the sad part, though, about mental health, especially when it comes to men. And I was saying when I started the shoot as well, that there's so much other stuff that is happening in and around us that it takes our attention away. Yet statistics says we are 5% more committing suicide than our female counterparts. So it just shows that
Whoa.
these ladies, they're doing something right, yet we are not going with it because there is not enough emphasis. And I can bet you right now that you've been on Facebook, you've been on Instagram, and there hasn't been any post whatsoever that's speaking about men's mental health. So that means the awareness thereof is not there, as opposed to 16 days of activism. Every news channel has got it, every social media post has got that. But it's not the same with men's mental health. Do you see how
Yeah.
we tend to fall prey to these things?
Yeah, I don't, man, that is eye opening, and I'm thinking maybe it's because we don't want to talk about it. Even social media and maybe everybody who's on social media maybe assumes that we don't want to talk about it. Wow, that's really interesting. And you know what I think? I actually think that now that you actually mentioned it, the only way we can bring this up is when men talk about it. The same way that the reason why we talk about women issues is because women speak about their issues.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
Yeah, true. And they are not shy to express their feelings. If you've hurt a woman, you're going to feel it.
Oh yeah. And she will tell the whole world. And if any woman feels some kind of injustice, she will definitely kind of voice it out.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to say maybe we should look inward, and maybe it's like Father's Day on a lighter note.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it. Maybe we should voice it out and say, hey guys, we are not appreciated enough.
Yeah. And especially as dads as well, what are we trying to raise our children into? What society are we trying to build for our children to grow up into? Because if we are saying, because the article that I read earlier, and it says the reason why men tend to not want to speak about it, because you are the protector, you are the provider, you are the masculine in the house. For you to come back and say, I'm feeling weak or I'm sad and all that, we kind of feel like, no, we're doing injustice to our parenting skills or how men are designed. And that is a real issue. And I want you to just give advice. If it was a brother is going through something right now, what advice would you be giving them right now?
Okay, firstly, I'll say this. I'll say that based on experience, a lot of men have really their feelings is because maybe the last time a brother did, maybe he was mocked or maybe it was used against him, right?
Yeah.
I've seen a few people talking about this.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why a lot of men don't want to talk about what they're going through. But I would say to a brother is that maybe it's time to do it anyway. So get rid of the fear that somebody might use your weakness against you. Get rid of the fear that someone might maybe look at you in a different way. Just open up because you know it's going to help you. Whatever that they say, you know, it's their business. It's not yours.
Yeah.
At least you maybe would have gotten better as a person.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to say whether you share your weaknesses or your mental struggles, do it, because whether you do it or not, whoever you think will gossip about you or will belittle you, they'll probably do it anyway.
Sure.
Just do it anyway.
Sure. So they will gossip about you anyway, so you may as well just put a stop to it.
Exactly. You might as well just share what you want to share and live life as you know it.
Sure. Crazy. Man, thank you so much for taking your time, man. It's always you know when you've got such good brothers that are always so what's the word? That are so wisdomatic. I always said wisdomatic. I don't know if there's such a word as wisdomatic, but it's good to have a brother like you that has got so much wisdom. Thanks, man.
My brother, thanks to you. You are a legend, and keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Appreciate you taking the call as well, and regards to the family.
My man, thank you so much, man.
Cheers,
Appreciate it, bro.
Like I was saying, and all the gents have said, and I love what Seppo just said right now, where he says, in as much as you are scared of people laughing at you, they probably are going to laugh at you anyway. So just let it out. And there's so much importance and there's so much power when you then let it out. You feel relieved, you feel better. And I think that's the same thing that women go through, because I know for a fact that my wife, if she's not happy about something, she's going to scream it out, cry it out, throw tantrums and whatnot. And afterwards, and say, I've forgiven you, it's fine. And you're like, really? But as opposed to me, I'll keep things bottled in. And the more you bottle things in, the scenarios just build. It just blows. Maybe the person did not greet you because they did not see you, but inside you're bottling and you're thinking, oh, maybe they hate me because of what I did last week. Or maybe they saw what I did. Or maybe they saw the post that I posted and they thought it was them. You keep on building these weird scenarios in your head because you've bottled things in. And gents, let's be in a position where you can just blab it out, man. Just be that guy that when everyone sees you, they go, geez, this one speaks their mind. And my wife always says you don't have to say what you think. I think that's an issue as well. Because when someone says you don't have to say whatever that you think, then that means you are keeping it in. Women always say whatever they think. So why can't we? Women literally, if you step on her and she doesn't like it, she's going to make you know and feel that she does not like it. As gents, you're going to be like, I don't have to tell you that you're an ass. No. Right, you get it? So let's be a generation of gents that 5% more is a lot. 1% more is a lot. But then if we can move from this year June to this year June until next year June, and it has dropped by 1% or 2%, that is a massive improvement. That means you and I are coming together and making sure that my brother is good. My brother is in a better state. My brother is good. You understand? So let's see if I can push Tyron, because he said 10 minutes and it's now 3 minutes into the shoot, and I'm going to see if we're going to have a chat with him afterwards. But anyway, thank you so much if you're here and you're still here. You are deeply, deeply appreciated. If you're going through something, of which I know that everyone is going through something, my mom always said that if we were to advise or if we were to advertise our problems, and they're like, okay, just line your problems up here and let's see if you can switch and take someone else's problems, you would justly go like, no, bring back my own. So what I'm trying to put out, or what my mom was trying to put out, is sometimes it's not as bad as you feel. It's not as bad as you think. Someone else may be going through way worse than you are, but maybe they're carrying it differently. But when you see them carrying it differently, it's going to give you hope. It's going to give you sort of more like, what do you call this? It's going to give you a light at the end of the tunnel, that if Johnny is handling it like this, then that means I can do it. Because a lot of times when we're going through problems, it's easy for us to get enraged or to get drowned in the problem because you don't see the solution. Sometimes getting out of the solution, out of the problem, look at it from the outside. And I know that someone can say, Tats, there is no way you can look at it from the outside. I'm saying try. That's all I'm saying. I don't have the solutions, but then we cannot be a generation of men that are going down like this. That's a lot of deaths. One death due to depression or anxiety, whatever, that's not enough. That's way too much. So all I'm saying is try. It may work, it may not work. If it does work, great. Another man is going to find relevance in it. If it doesn't, you're going to push on and find another solution. And together as gents, I want a situation where we can say we are renting out an entire venue for 200 gents. 200 gents just come and just, let's cry, let's just talk. That's the main reason why I started this. I want to be a voice or create a platform where I say, not on my watch is another man going to commit suicide. I know a few people that are in my circle that actually did commit suicide, and that was the end of it. But it's not supposed to be like that. I was in that situation as well, and it's not supposed to be like that. Maybe, just maybe, in as much as, yes, you want to speak to your wife, but then I think your brother as well. Speak to that stranger. I want a situation or a position where you can meet someone in a restaurant, they're sitting alone, and you just say, bro, this is what I'm going through. And not feel like that person is going to judge you, and not feel like that person is going to sort of look at you in a different light. Because in actual fact, the man that cries is actually a stronger man. The man that is in touch with their feelings is actually a better man. My wife always says, uyatefa wena baby. Uyatefa means you are, what's the word? You cry baby. Yes. I cry, Baba. Yeah. When was it? Last week. I was like, yeah, I just feel like crying. And as I'm saying, I just feel like crying. I just I had flu and I was watching a movie, and I think it just, keeping up with my with my feminine side. Let me just check. You don't always have to say what you think if it breaks the other person. Oof. Okay.
That's what I say.
That's what my wife says. Oh, okay. So she's correcting herself. You don't have to say everything because sometimes I'm like, you are full of nonsense, man. Oh, guess what? Tyrone is calling. Jeez, I thought he was never gonna call me back, but yeah, he is. Ty, how is it, bro?
Hey, I don't appreciate that.
I said earlier that Tyrone is always going to pick up, but then you disappointed me. I was like, geez, so much for a boyfriend, because my wife says I've got a new boyfriend in Tyrone, so you disappointed me too, bro.
Well, look, I phoned you back quicker than the 10 minutes I said it would take me to, so yeah, I made up for it.
At least, let's give you that. Man, you're live on the podcast, man. Thank you so much for calling me back.
Cool, no problem.
Awesome stuff. So we're chatting about men's mental health, and it's Men's Mental Health Month. And my first question would be, did you know or are you aware that it's Men's Mental Health Month?
I actually am, but only because the fact that this morning I read something on Instagram about it. So if I hadn't, I wouldn't have known until this morning.
Sure. How crazy is that, though, that you've got an entire month that is dedicated to gents? And I was reading statistics earlier when I started the shoot, and we are 5% more men are committing suicide than the female counterparts. So if more men are dying because of men's mental health, surely there should be so much emphasis and so much seriousness with the matter, because we are dying.
Of course. No, I agree. I think that's probably 90% of the problem, is that we just expected to just forget about it, rather than deal with it.
That's crazy, because women, they are in touch with their feelings. A woman will tell you that you hurt them, and you're going to feel it without a doubt. And yet here we are, and we are dying, literally.
Yeah, the thing is, you say that women are in touch with their feelings. So are we. It's not that we're not. I mean, if we weren't in touch with our feelings, nothing negative would ever happen. We are in touch with them. We just never verbalize it. That's all.
What can we do to make it different? Because we are raising boys as well. You've got sons, I've got a son as well. And what society are we trying to create for our children in the future if we are not vocalizing our feelings, though?
Yeah, I think the bigger discussion, or the bigger problem, is very difficult for us as individuals to deal with and kind of fix, for the lack of a better word. But, you know, if we're in small little pockets or pods of people just speak about this, hopefully they go out and speak to more people. You know, at the end of the day, there's the same people like us trying to talk about it. There are a lot of people that are actively trying not to talk about it. So at the moment, I think there's more of them than of us. So I think, you know, the only realistic way to deal with things like this is to do little bit, speak to little bit, speak to your circles. Your circles will speak to more circles. Raise kids to talk about it, and it inevitably will get better, I think.
I still remember a few weeks ago, we were chatting about our son's cricket match, and you said your boy was crying. And immediately we said, I actually prefer if the kid cries, because that means, one, they're in touch with their feelings, and two, it means that they're putting everything into their game, the disappointment whatsoever. And that's exactly where we're coming from, where if a kid is crying because they went out, we are quick to say, "I be a man, get over it." And there is so much importance in encouraging the kid that is crying and say, it's actually a good thing. Cry, that's good.
100%. No, if something doesn't mean anything to you, then you should stop doing it. And just in everything, if something's not touching your feelings or touching you somewhere, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. So I agree. I mean, encourage the feeling.
Yeah. What advice would you be giving to a brother right now that's going through something? Because I think everyone is going through something. That's one thing for sure. What advice would you be giving to a mate that is going through the pits or the dip?
Yeah, look, I think it's very cliched, but the starting point is always to say it's okay, it's normal. I think just to just normalize it. Tell them that it's normal, it's okay. I think that is probably where it should always start. I know it's cliched, and I know that's what we read everywhere and that sort of thing. But to genuinely have somebody believe that it's normal and that it's okay to have that feeling and is always the starting point, because I think we just hard on ourselves, because sometimes we're feeling this and we know it's a feeling, we know it's normal, but we almost hard on ourselves in a way that it doesn't allow us to feel. So I think just to ensure somebody that it's normal, I think that would be my first bit of advice.
Yeah. Ty, you're full of wisdom, man. The world needs more men like you.
Don't flatter me. Thank you.
Take it, bro. Take it. Awesome, man. Cool. Thank you so much for picking the call, man. Rather, for calling me back. Really appreciate it, bro.
100%.
Awesome.
Cool, have a good one.
Awesome, man. Check it.
Right.
Ciao.
Bye.
Laka, here is to... My wife is making me read something, then she takes the phone away. These women. Can you show me? Let me read it, bro. Let's see what it status says.
Because you're reminded that it's mental health, men's mental health, so we want to support you.
Okay, so my wife says, here's to honoring the strength and resilience of men's mental health this month. Remember, seeking support is a sign of courage, not weakness. Thank you so much. When we get women, can you let me know in the comment section, all the women, and give us advice? Because we are screwing up and we are dying. And when we die, you guys are going to suffer. So please give us advice. We got one more. Let me just see if it's going to pick up and just have a chat to the last one before we wrap up the shoot. And I want ladies in the comment section to just let me know or let us know, give us advice. And we've got another one. And Charlie, thank you so much for joining us. You're live on the podcast, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm okay. How are you, Charlie?
Man, it's good to hear your voice, bro.
It's been a while.
Man, Mr. Moses, thank you so much for coming through. And the first question, I'm not going to take much of your time, man, but rather, it's men's mental health. Are you aware of it?
Yes, sir. I am aware what is happening with men, man. It's really tough out there.
Yeah. And the species of men, we are dying. There's depression, there's anxiety, there's alcoholism, there's gender-based violence, and gents are committing suicide. And even the stats says 5% more men are committing suicide than our female counterparts. What advice would you be giving to a brother that is going through something, and everyone is going through something? What advice would you be giving to them?
To be honest with you, Ted, we as men, we are not people who likes to talk. So that is the first thing that is hindering us to be able to be out there. And then firstly, when we start to talk, things that we say, we hear them outside from other people, you understand? That is the thing that prevents us to be able to be more emotional. So men are physical. They've been taught that do not be more of emotional. So one thing I can say to our guys is that, guys, let's find a ground that is trustworthy. Let's build brotherhood whereby we are able to talk with issues that relates to what is happening within a man's heart, within a man's mind. So if we are able to be open with ourselves and start to be honest first, because of it's good for a man to be emotional, number one, and it's good for a man to show emotions. And it's good for a man to speak out and say things that are bothering them, especially what is happening into relationships, marriage, whether be kids, whether be family, whether be work related. A society as itself that is affecting an individual, especially a man. So if men are able to speak out their heart, I think things could be better.
Sure, that's powerful. That's a powerful statement there, and especially from us as we are raising children, you also don't want a situation whereby you say, you know how it is, where when a kid is crying or a boy is crying, say, hey man, be a man. That's just how society is designed as, or how we were raised. But we need to put a stop to it now.
100%. I believe that if we are men who are showing emotions, it will be easier for our kids also to know that there is a place whereby when things are not going well, you run to that place. Yes, prayer is good, but it's good sometimes to communicate with somebody that you can see physically and you can share how you feel. And, have a hug, my brother. Give them a hug, give them a shoulder to shoulder, that I'm behind you and I'm with you.
Sure. Charlie, it's been amazing to chat to you, and I know it's been very short and you have to go back to work, but I really appreciate the wisdom that you've imparted to the gents and everything, and all the best for everything that you're doing with your family and everything, man.
Thank you so much, Charlie. God bless you, sir.
Awesome. Take care, bro.
Sharp.
Ciao. How was that? Gents, let's do better. We said in the comment section, women are going to give us advice, and let's do everything in our power to make sure that this mental health year or month, it's going to turn into a deficit or a decrease in the amount of suicide and what guys are doing. My wife is making me read something quickly, and it says, married man, your wife is attuned to patterns. It's how she's wired. For your peace of mind and a sense of security, it's crucial to communicate whenever you notice you're about to break a pattern or have already done so. For instance, babe, I've got a lot on my mind and I'm processing it. If you notice that I'm unusually quiet or withdrawn over the next couple of days, don't worry. Everything is fine between us. I'm just working through some things. This simple act of communication can make her feel secure and help her better manage her emotions during your period of silence. So, that is deep. Where did I get this wife from? I think that's one thing. I think I'll take that advice as well, just to say, babes, this is what I'm going through for the next couple of days or whatever. And if you see me quiet, I don't think I'm ever quiet though. I think there is other areas of my life that go quiet, but as in talking, I don't keep quiet. Anyway, thank you so much if you're still here. Men's mental health. Let's bombard internet with men's mental health. The devil is a liar, guys. The devil is a liar. It starts with you, and if you're scared of people laughing at you, they probably are going to laugh at you anyway. So just find someone. There's always someone in your corner, in your circle, that is going to be willing to speak to you or that's willing to listen. And I always say my door is always open. My information whatsoever is down in the link below. And come through, let's chat. And I may not give you all the solutions because I'm young, because I haven't experienced it, but the fact is I will listen and I'll be a shoulder to cry on. You call me at 12 o'clock, I'm there. You call me at 1 a.m., I am there, to make sure that you're a better version of yourself, because everything that we're doing anyway is to ensure that you are a better version of yourself, not what you were yesterday, but a better than you were yesterday. So thank you so much to all the gents that have picked up the call and given their advice and just chatted to me. I really appreciate it. I know you guys are busy and everything, but you still took your time to impact your knowledge to the next person and using this platform. So I am blessed because of that. If you want to sponsor the channel, please come through to the description below and send us an email. Let's see how best we can help one another as we spread the wings to let other men know about this. That's how the sponsorship works, and equipment and everything, to make sure that we keep on doing what we're doing. We do what we do because we love it, and because we love it, there's always certain things that need to be bought, and that's where you come in. And as we speak to the audience and the listeners, that's how you get a kickback to your company through advertising. So thank you so much. If you are new to the channel, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. That way the channel is going to grow. When you like the video, that means it's going to be recommended to more people in your circle that are watching more or less the same thing as you. Sharing as well on social media, it makes people come to YouTube and to watch. Sharing from your Apple Podcast, from Spotify and Google Play and everything, it makes someone else understand that there is a guy that's called Tatenda and that's got 3 podcasts that are under this same channel, and the aim and purpose is to ensure that people receive information. So help us make people aware of certain things. If you are hearing someone saying, if I had not gone on Instagram, I was never going to know about men's mental health, then that means we're not doing enough. And I cannot do it on my own. I need you as well. So thank you so much. When you're reviewing on Spotify and audio podcast, just give it a 5-star because it's good content. Yeah. And thank you so much. Don't drink and drive. It's Friday. Have a good weekend. Be safe with your families. Stay safe. Keep praying. Keep believing. And God loves you, and I love you even more. Cheers for now.